Hello and welcome to Gaming Again. My name is Muzz and welcome to the games that I have played in 2021. Now, like all years, I have played a lot of video games. Played a lot of video games in 2021, and I want to talk about the notable ones, the ones that were good and the ones that weren't so good. And we have a lot of games to get through, so I am just gonna jump right in and start with the first game. The first notable game that I played was Hellblade Sacrifice, and great game to kick off the year. Single player story focused, kind of a shorter experience. The premise of the game is you're on this journey to find her lover from hell, and she has a mental health condition, psychosis, and it's a really visceral and intense story and depiction of mental health, and it was backed by a lot of notable people from mental health practices and stuff like that. So very good game, and very interesting game for I think a lot of people to see what it is like to have and experience a mental health condition. Play it with headphones, you need to get all the sounds of the kind of the people talking to you in your ears. It was, yeah, I think a really important game, and I'm looking forward to the sequel. I think it might only be on Xbox, which will be a bit disappointing as I only have a PlayStation 5 and I cannot afford an Xbox X, Series X, so hopefully it comes out on the PlayStation 5 eventually, if not, but certainly it is a game that you should give a go. It's not going to take that much time out of your gaming schedule. It's 10-12 hours, and the combat is really good. I enjoyed the combat. And moving on to A Way Out. Now, this was a similar game to, actually not a similar in terms of it's a single player story focused experience, and that's kind of where the similarities end. But essentially it's a jailbreak, but the whole premise of it is that you're playing it in tandem with another person. Like, you can't play it without another person. So for some people that's going to be quite difficult, but for me, that implied that a lot of people are lonely out there, which they might be, but just organising schedules and stuff, it can be quite hard. That's why it took me so long to actually get around to it. But another very interesting game, a lot of interesting game mechanics in it. I like the experiment. It was just a different kind of game in terms of the perspective, because it's split screen, but you're doing it over online, and you can see what the players are doing. It's a cooperative experience, which is well, and there's a few good twists along the way, which I'm not going to spoil, but it's certainly one that all these games I recommend. So I'm not going to say I'm going to recommend it, because I will no doubt end up saying that again, but give it a bash. Then we move on to the PlayStation 5. So I was waiting to get a PlayStation 5 for a while, just because of obviously the shortages and stuff. There's still shortages going on, but we'll enter in PlayStation 5 territory. And Astro's Playroom, it comes with the PlayStation 5. You get it, and it's just a demo that kind of showcases all the different features of the PlayStation 5. The controller is really good in it, and it does a really good job of showing off what the PlayStation 5 has to offer, while also being a pretty fun game. Astrobot on the PlayStation VR is one of the best PlayStation VR games, so I was expecting nothing less than a really good game, which is what you get. It's fun, it's campy, it's nice. It's just a nice way to show off the PlayStation 5. Then we come to the first downer of the kind of the year, which was Destruction AllStars, which was a game I grew up on combat card games. Rogue Legacy is different. Rogue Trip was the game that I loved, absolutely loved. Me and my friend used to play it all the time. I played it to completion so many times and absolutely adored it. And when I saw this, it gave me similar vibes, while also giving me kind of Fortnite vibes because of the heroes. So I was like, okay, if they're matching these two together, it could work. But the combat was just not fun. It really wasn't. I wonder if anyone's actually playing it. Which, if they are, more power to them. But it just was not for me, and I was very, very disappointed about that. So now we come to a game that's been out for years. I think, yeah. I was going to say, I think all these have been out for years, but there's Astrobot Instruction AllStars just came out in 2021. Dead by Daylight. Now, I played Dead by Daylight over the years since it's come out, but I never really got hooked into it until I started streaming. And playing as a killer was fantastic. So much so that I ended up buying I bought Michael Myers for the game. And yeah, it's just, I see why it's stuck around for so long. Like, I'm not a survivor. I don't like the kind of hide and seek gameplay. But when you're the killer and you're on the hunt, it feels really, really good to catch and slay. And I'm not gonna continue because I sound a bit like I'm enjoying it too much. But Dead by Daylight is just a good time, and it's a great game to stream to. So if I ever get back to streaming, I'll certainly be going back to that. Then we come to another game that I streamed, which was Outer Wilds, which very unique way of telling a story. You're in a time loop. You've got 28 minutes, I think it is, 26 minutes, all in this time loop to try and figure out what's going on. You're given little hints at where to go, but it's this open kind of universe that you need to fly to in your spaceship. And some of the kind of revelations and the puzzles were very, very interesting to do. And just a really engaging game. I really engaged with this game. And on stream it was nice because you could chill and talk to people with it. And I think just the whole idea of a time loop, which is becoming slightly overdone with Deathloop and all that. I think this game done it in a way where the exploration was just organic. It was very natural. You didn't know where you were going to fly to, and once you kind of know where to go, you find somewhere, you want to get back there, you want to explore some more. It gets you in that gameplay loop where it's kind of like one more shot where you're just about to finish up, and then you find something and you're like, oh no, I need to go back there and see what else I can discover. But Outer World is one that I do need to get back to because I've not completed it, but have I completed most of these games? Actually, this is the first one that I haven't completed. Next one I haven't completed either. Returnal. Now, this one I'm very gutted about not completing, because it's such a good game. Just the Housemarque, the developers, just have such a way with gameplay of making it really engaging, really fun, action-packed, chaotic. But you still feel like you're in control, and Returnal was that, just on a bigger budget compared to the previous games. The story, again, you've got an amnesia. I don't know why I couldn't say that. You've got amnesia, and you try to figure out the story. And there's arcade shooting. It's a great mix of gameplay styles and story. And I really, really want to complete it. And I think I might hopefully go back to it soon. But I'm glad the main gripe, I think, was that you couldn't save during a run, which is pretty difficult. I actually had my first social media argument with someone over this, where they were saying, oh, it's all these babies who can't complete, and I was making the argument like, not everyone has time to set aside 6 hours in one sitting to complete the game, which is, I believe, how long it takes. Or obviously people have done it quicker, but certainly for your average person, they're not going to have time. But hopefully with the additional save, I can jump in, pause it, save it, and then come back to it. And another PlayStation exclusive was Ratchet & Clank, A Rift in Time. Just a fun game. Yeah, nothing really amazing blew me away. The graphics were good, the gameplay was good, story was good exclusive for the PlayStation 5. I enjoy the characters, I enjoy the worlds, the weapons. It is yeah, like I said, just a fun game. Chivalry 2 was a game that I was really looking forward to, and this is where the price point is going to become an interesting factor, because this was 35 quid, and games need to do this more, where if this had been 60 quid, I wouldn't have enjoyed it as much, because the content there was spot on for 35, and that price point was perfect. It's a medieval kind of hack and slash gameplay online. They're updating it as kind of we speak, but the chaos of combat, where it's like knights, shields, maces, bows, when you get into a good run of it, you can lose yourself for hours in it, because it is a game that I think it's just a very unique game, because there's not a lot of this style of game out there as well, which is a big key component. And yeah, I just love to, and it's got a sense of humour as well. It doesn't take itself too seriously. It's more an arcadey kind of multiplayer game rather than a more hardcore game, but it is a good time. And then we come to the first VR game, which is strange because I always talk up VR, but just because of everything that's been going on, I've kind of had to take a step back from it. But I will be doing a PSVR 2 video, because there was some more information, not leaked, released from Sony. And that was Walking Dead Saints Sinners, the best VR game I played to date. It is hands down the best experience. It is a full game. It's not an experience, although it is a great experience. I'm muddling myself up. But the story, I mean, listen, it's on its own. If it wasn't in VR, it would be a good game. But VR just takes it to that next level. It's a great game, excellent game in VR, because of the combat, the pulling out the knife, the pulling out the gun, the taking something off your backpack, putting stuff in your backpack. It's just such a great game for the senses, for immersing you in the world. And yeah, The Walking Dead puts you in some interesting choices as well. I like that they didn't shy away from making you do some pretty crappy stuff, if we're being honest. If you wanted to, if you didn't, you could go your own. And yeah, there was a lot of good in the Walking Dead VR. I really, really enjoyed it, and I hope they make a sequel to it, or make because I think they made another game, but I can't remember off the top of my head. But I'm looking forward to whatever the developer for Walking Dead Saints Sinners does next. And then the other 35 quid game this year was Alien Fireteam Elite. Kind of like this mid-tier game where it's a solid experience. You're going in, you know what you're getting. It's shooting a bunch of aliens. The aliens are fun to shoot, which is the main thing. You've got different tools at your disposal to dispatch of the aliens, and that is, I think, why I love the game so much. And I think that Alien Fireteam Elite is a very good game. I'm back. So now we come to the worst game I played in 2021, which was EFootball 2022, I think. Just a horrendous experience, if we're being honest. Some of the worst football gameplay I've ever played. The graphics were terrible, and yeah, they need to do something about that game if they want it to be a success. But everything from here on out is good. Kena Bridge of Spirits was, again, I think that came out at 35 quid as well, actually. That was a lower price game as well. Good emotional story. The art style was very Pixar-y, very beautiful. The combat was fun and challenging, surprisingly. And those little root things were cute AF. They were so cute. If I get a little plushie of them or something, I would be more than happy. But yeah, I really enjoyed Kena. I think the game really, I think, exceeded my expectations. The boss battles were really fun and really interesting. Not interesting, they're just a fun experience to kind of, because they were challenging. And then we come to Horror Month, which one of my favourites. Alan Wake we done. I'm glad I've played Alan Wake now. The psychological thriller element. I like the story. I didn't really know what it was going for. The combat was with the light. It was different, trying to use the light first to kind of blind and take away the enemy's protective shield, whatever they had, and then blow them away with a gun. The story is really what kind of kept me going through Alan Wake. The gameplay was serviceable, but the story was certainly very intriguing, and I'm glad I have played it now, although I've got 2 extra chapters to do, which I need to get to. And Alan Wake 2 is coming out, or there's a new Alan Wake. No, Alan Wake 2 has already been, but I think they're releasing it on PlayStation 5, and then Alan Wake 3 is coming out, and then it's linked to Control, which I need to play. Then I think one of the surprises of the year for me, Little Nightmares. Now, this was a game that kind of went under my radar for a long time. I think I just bought it on like a random day and just completely forgot about it. And then when I was in Horror Month, I was like, oh well, Little Nightmares, there we go, I can do that. That's a bit of a short experience, but just the whole atmosphere of this game, the whole vibes of this game just were chilling. The enemies were grotesque, they were really off-putting, and yeah, it was a really good game for Horror Month. The horror elements were there, and the story that was told was pretty cool. Pretty strange in the end, which I like about it, because it didn't go for this like little person trying to just survive the monster. She actually maybe becomes one at the end. I just ruined it for you, but sorry, spoiler warning. And then we come to the last game of the year, which was Marvel's SpiderMan, which I'm still not completed, but it lived up to the hype. That's all I need to say about that. It lived up to the hype. It is a fantastic game. The web swinging, the traversal, the combat's very fun. The suits are, I don't want to say fun again. The suits are diverse, good word. And yeah, the story of kind of, I like what they've done with the story so far. I've not completed it, but it definitely feels like what precedes it makes sense, with Miles Morales being the game that precedes it. I hope I got that right. But loving the story, loving the gameplay, and it is, yeah, a very good game. So that has been my games of 2021. Let me know what games you played in 2021, and let me know what you thought of my opinion of the games. And with all that said, all that is left to say is any thoughts, comments, general hostile remarks, leave them below. Thank you very much. Bye bye.